Hey everyone, I think it's safe to say that a lot of people watching this video right now grew up on watching early DreamWorks films. Of course, there's a big IP, Shrek, but I'm sure that a lot of you also remember seeing Megamind and really enjoyed it, me included, because there were some good parts behind it where everything just clicks nicely. And it's one of those films where you can watch a video behind it and start to notice all the minor parts that went off your head, but you appreciate it now that you know it. But most importantly, it's just a good movie for kids, because it's hard to find a balance for something that a kid can watch without making their mom or dad get insanely bored. However, I wish this was a 2-hour video essay about the impact the film had on society, because the trailer has recently come out announcing a Megamind show that's kind of a sequel. So if the idea sounds like it came out of nowhere and it's unprepared, that's because it is, with the animation being a very telling sign, which you'll see in just a moment.
You might remember the classic film Megamind that was basically stapled into meme culture.
So, you're the punk I've heard about.
That was so outdated. I'm pretty sure the biggest one is right now is him, the perfume, the cologne clip that was way more popular.
Now, finally, we actually have a confirmed Megamind sequel. The only problem being the Megamind sequel looks inferior to the original in every single way, which is amazing because we've basically progressed 14 years worth of animation and it just looks terrible. It looks absolutely abysmal. Now, Megamind,
yeah, I agree. It should have like photorealistic CGI. Yeah, I like that.
By Paramount, and it had a budget of $130 million. For a film back then, that's pretty decent, especially for an animated film. Now, we all know DreamWorks created mostly out of spite for Disney. One of the Disney execs left and then started DreamWorks with films like Kung Fu Panda, Shrek, but unfortunately,
and everyone's favorites, Ants,
it gets pretty big, they become sloppy. If you look at any mainstream franchise that DreamWorks have made, chances are there's a spin-off show or some kind of like TV series, and it's not very good. Kung Fu Panda has one, How to Train Your Dragon has one as well, and there are many others. Do you remember years and years ago when I made like an MLG Shrek video and you see Shrek and he turns around and he goes, "Oh, hello there.
Shrek here."
That was actually from the DreamWorks YouTube channel, and it basically has the same animation quality. Nowhere near as...
Wait a second, you mean DreamWorks made Shrek? Wait, what?
Megamind 2 in the past couple of years has definitely resurfaced. It's been reborn like a phoenix from the ashes because of, you know, the meme culture around it. But on top of that as well, it's actually a really good film because it's a complete subversion of the superhero trope, where the superhero isn't bad, he's just incredibly melancholic and lazy, which would probably happen to most people if they were given superpowers with the ability to do anything.
You look lonely.
Oh, I hate that Ryan Gosling meme. Thank you for making this video way gayer.
I mean, there's actually another film that came out a little bit before that called Hancock with Will Smith. The ratings for the film aren't that good, and the film is incredibly short, but I do recommend it because, again, it's interesting to look at a superhero that isn't an anti-hero or a bad guy. They just don't care. Now, Megamind has been announced...
In his defense, that is quite like a unique trope or a story about like someone being perfectly in the middle. It's supposed to be an anti-hero, so I respect that for at least being, you know, like unique story, even if I have never heard of that movie.
Really not surprised. It sounds like one of those pirate channels that comes up when you buy like a Roku or something. And their plan is to release a Megamind film, Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate, which again has...
I want to say now, my favorite thing about Peacock is that one meme where they proudly announced that the TED show, it was the most like successful one in the entire catalog, and then people made memes being like, oh yeah, out of the other free shows they have on there, it did really well. That was some good competition.
It's like so vapid and dry. And on top of that as well, they're also going to release a series of episodes called Megamind Rules, and that's going to be 8 episodes and each one around 22 minutes. Now, to be devil's advocate here, I do want to say I'm pretty sure Peacock, the streaming service that's owned by NBC Universal that no one has ever heard of, they probably don't have the $130 million budget that DreamWorks had when they made the original film. But that being said, is like the budget a firm handshake? Because these visuals, how can you like have something come out 14 years later and it looks worse in every single way? Everything looks so drab. I don't want to say the word soulless because I know that is just such a huge buzzword that has no foundations of what it means. I really would like an expert.
No, I feel like soulless does describe it fine, because that just short trailer really seemed exactly like the kind of like content farm videos you would see where they pump it out, like they make like 10 videos every day where they just reuse the same like models to make a bunch of episodes quickly and don't care. what it looks like.
So much worse than the original film. Is it the rendering? Is it the shading? Is it the lighting, the coloring? Because everything compared to the film looks so flat. And also the icing on the cake, none of the original voice actors are returning. So Will Ferrell will not be voicing Megamind, which was the entire point of having Megamind in the first place.
I feel like it would be expensive. That would be half of the budget gone just for him.
But he actually voiced Blue in Foster's Home of Imaginary Friends. So now I actually have to say that he's a pretty good voice actor, or I'm probably going to have the lynch mob after me. Now, I'm sure that...
I want to see who else he did, because if that was the only guy he voiced, then I don't care. Okay, so he voiced Lightning McQueen. Okay, so he's like the biggest voice actor in the world. Okay.
The lynch mob after me. Now, I'm sure that he does a great job. He does a great job impersonating. But again, that is another telltale sign that they do not have the budget here because of the fact that, you know, they couldn't get Will Ferrell back. Another good example, even though it has nowhere near as bad as animation, is the What If series that Marvel are doing. Now, What If is basically an alternate timeline of Marvel. You know, what if Le Infinity Stone was Le Evil? It's basically just little twists and seeing how they branch off from there. What if Thanos was Le Good? It really is as simple as that. But most of the main cast are there. Like, for example, Mark Ruffalo, that voiced the Hulk. But when you get to the more higher paid actors like Robert Downey Jr., Captain America, what's his name again? Chris Pratt.
What?
And Scarlett Johansson, they have imitators. It's not actually them, probably because they asked for so much money. And then Disney went, no, I don't think we will. We're not going to give you that money. And they probably did the same thing with Will Ferrell. Or maybe they just didn't even offer him in the first place because they knew that whatever he was going to ask for was probably the entire budget and then some. Now, there has been other...
Yeah, that's true. At the same time, I feel like with like an animated show of some movie that came out like so long ago, the last thing people worry about when it comes back is like the voice actors. 'Cause even though they are like a huge part of the character, for most people or kids, because I feel like most people that love this movie now watched it as a kid, like even myself. So, and even then I didn't care or knew that the voice actor was Will Ferrell. So it's not like it's a huge, you know, like sad news that he's not coming back just to voice like a few episodes. I mean, this show already feels like it's gonna have one season and get cancelled, so I'm not gonna cry my eyes out at the fact that he couldn't voice for like 9 episodes at best.
After the film, I think there was a short film that came out a year later, but there was also a movie tie-in game. And if we look at this, you can actually see that the movie tie-in game from 2010 looks better than the Megamind sequel that is, you know, set to come out in like a couple weeks. That is actually insane. How does it actually look worse? But before that, I have some amazing news.
Oh, promo. Oh, promo. It's promo.
You know, we are unfortunately in the generation of remakes now. Everything is being remade, for better or for worse. I mean, like, for example, The Last of Us, it's had like 7 remakes. They'll remake it like 3 times on one console and then like 2 times on the next one. Another example is like, look how many times Skyrim has been re-released. Now, I do want to say there are...
It's different. Those are games. Megamind is a cultural landmark.
Original 3 Tomb Raider games on PlayStation 1, they're actually being remastered with a graphics setting that you can change on the fly. That's coming out in like a week. I'm actually really excited for that. But video games and films, they will always be remade. People don't want to look into new IPs because it isn't safe. So instead, they'll go into the backyard, dig up, you know, like the proverbial family dog with the shovel. How is that like moving a shovel? What is that? It's like moving an oar or something. And then they'll revive a franchise that no one asked for. And it sucks with Megamind because it came a meme probably like 12 years after it came out, to be fair. But because of that, it almost became like a heritage site. And now they have completely ruined it because they just want more money. It is...
That's a good point. I'm pretty sure the movie when it came out didn't do that well. And most of the guys that worked on it didn't really do much after. Or they might have. Like, they probably just like went on to like the next DreamWorks project. But yeah, it only really blew up after like a few years. But definitely now when the film came out, which I feel bad for them in that fact.
You know, they just get these poor imitations. I mean, a good example that no one actually talks about, Breaking Bad. I know. If you want to click off the video, I totally understand. Breaking Bad had Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul was amazing. It also had El Camino. It's all right. It just doesn't really have a lot of rewatch value. But then what a lot of people don't know about is Better Call Saul actually had a spin-off of a cartoon series that was meant to be like, I guess...
Oh my god, this show.
And it was just awful. It was trash.
There's 4 of us, and then I take 3.
He's trying to make us do math.
Get it?
And they knew it was bad because they tried to hide it afterwards. I'll tell you what, if this video gets...
I just want to say now, that show was so bizarre, the anime show. Like, that felt like one of those situations where someone higher up that has like a little bit of control in the company or like the rights of the Better Call Saul franchise, really want to make a show, and they just like outsource the animation and project to like some ex-communist country, and they, whatever they got bad, they just put like English subtitles on or voice actors, and then they put that on whatever streaming service it was. I think it was Amazon Live, Prime. I mean.
Review and retrospective of the Megamind film and the Megamind TV series and the new Megamind film. Okay, that's a tall order. Don't like this video. That's reverse psychology. Have you guys seen this? Megamind 2 came out. By the ratio, it's not very good. All right, let's watch this.
Hello, loyal viewers. For those who
I like the name Joe Blow.
Can you tell that's not Will Ferrell?
I'm kind of a big deal. And you're welcome.
This looks so bad. Is this a film or a TV show? The animation looks so much worse.
So careful with that.
Oh, this looks terrible.
And still think I'm a villain.
How is it
I can see what he's saying now about him now being Will Ferrell, because it's not even a close imitation to it.
Got every single checklist on it. Oh my god, they're franchising my boy. That is rough. Like, how does this look worse than... It also does that thing that like Disney XD shows do, like kids shows, where like the backgrounds are just completely dead. Like the entire city is just empty. I hate that so much. Paw Patrol level animation. Okay, true. It actually is on the same level as Paw Patrol. It's got a smaller budget than Has Been Hotel, probably. It's just the backgrounds always look so stale. It's like I'm watching
that render of him in that shot looks awful, god.
But if you look at the backgrounds of Invincible when watching it, and it's not a fight scene, the backgrounds look absolutely awful. I remember this one scene where you've got like Omni-Man and his wife just like sat in Italy, like, you know, sipping a coffee or something, and the background is absolutely terrible. It just looks so bland. Someone said PlayStation 1 Skybox. Yeah, it looks rough.
Okay, I know what he means about like how cheap shows. I mean, in general, I feel like just animating that like huge crowd shots where they're in some city, whatever, it's hard to animate. But it does feel like way more blatant when you can see that like, apart from the main characters on the foreground, behind them it's just like a barren landscape with no one else walking around. With 3D, I feel like it's way easier, you just put the models, but that trailer looks so bland because it was just like them in some environment with nothing going on behind them. I mean, just from that short 1 minute trailer, I can really tell like the budget for every episode is gonna be like $10, and they're just gonna like make it as quickly as possible. The only thing I want to see now is just like hear like some story about like how it came to be, because the script for some Megamind sequel has to be so dead. I really want to know like what made someone grab like the copyright off it and give it to Peacock and ask them, we'll sell you this and you can make a show out of it. It won't do well, but at least it'll give you some modicum of attention to your streaming service. Which, to be honest, Peacock in general, like I feel like barely anyone knows about it, so I guess this was like a decent marketing stunt as opposed to paying for some ads on like some website or over the internet to get people to join you. I feel like at least bare minimum 5 people are gonna subscribe to it to just watch like a few episodes and just leave it. I don't feel like the Megamind show is gonna be the main like hook factor to keep people on Peacock, unfortunately. It breaks my heart to say.